Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Ty, and I'm doing a presentation on chapter two. So, chapter two has a lot to deal with. Basically, the title, as it says, collaboration, interpersonal communication, and business etiquette. So, it has a lot to do with team functionality, teams getting along with each other, working together as a group, trying to work on a specific task because I feel this way, and most people feel this way. Um, Two is greater than one. Everybody grouping up together, trying to solve an issue is always going to be better than people individually. Um, Trying to solve an issue, I feel like it's more efficient, but it also depends on the personnel because you have people that like to work by themselves. They're better off working by themselves because they don't have to worry about somebody else working at a different speed or having to depend on anyone else. But then you have people that are like that. They depend on others, but when they're in a group setting, they can kind of help them out and keep them up to speed and keep everybody like together. And obviously, when you got more people thinking on one thing, it's gonna be more efficient. So there's pros and cons to that. I'll get into that a little bit later. Um, so the first part is communicating effectively in teams. Obviously, collaboration, working together to meet complex challenges is going to be a prime skill expectation in a wide range of professions. But a team itself obviously is a unit of two or more people who share a mission and the responsibility of working to achieve a common goal. Yep, we also have committees that are formal teams that are usually have a long lifespan and can become permanent, a permanent part of an organizational structure. So that's definitely important. Also, participant participant management, the effort to involve employees in a company's decision making. So that also can be beneficial. Employees having that effect on the decisions that companies make in regards to their feedback, how they feel towards this or that. Also, just to talk about some of the disadvantages and the advantages of teams. So the advantages, of course, increase information of knowledge, increase information and knowledge, increase diversity of views, increase acceptance of a solution, higher performance levels. Like I was saying earlier, increase information of knowledge. You're gonna have that increased level of information just by having more than one head together working on a project, more than one person that's gonna increase the knowledge because it's two people trying to build a house is going to be faster than one person building a house. Three people is going to be better than two, so far and so forth. So it's always going to be that advantage when you have more people working on a specific task or a specific project or anything like that. Increased diversity of views. Everybody's different. Everybody comes from a different culture. They come from different backgrounds. So that diversity, it plays a big part. It definitely plays a big part in just having different views because of everybody's different. Everybody's unique. I've learned this the hard way. Everybody thinks of things differently. Somebody sees a color. Somebody else sees a color. They can view those colors differently. So there's always that diversity of views when you're working within a group. Um, Increase acceptance of a solution. If you guys do come up with a group comes up with a solution, it'll be more acceptance if everybody's kind of on board with that specific solution. You're gonna have people that are gonna back you up, and especially if more than one person comes up with a similar solution, it's definitely gonna benefit that person. Um, Higher performance levels obviously goes back to my increased information and knowledge. There's higher performance levels, so that's definitely gonna basically result in higher performance levels. So also now as far as the disadvantages, you have things like group think, hidden agendas, costs. Obviously, yeah, it can be more expensive. Having more people working on a specific group, especially from an employer standpoint, rather than having one person work on this while one person work on that. You have more than one person working on the same thing. So any other task, they gotta be put on hold until that gets completed. So that can have an effect. Um, Hidden agendas, things that come about, things that people to do, group thing. obviously there could be conflict within the groups. We'll talk about conflict later. Um, Now, allowing team evolution. So, allowing team evolution, the first thing I wanted to talk about that was orientation. Team members socialize to establish their roles and begin to define their task and purpose. Then you have conflict. Team members begin to discuss their positions and become more assertive in establishing their roles. Brainstorming. Team members air out all options and fully discuss the pros and cons. Emergence. Consensus is reached when the team finds a solution and all the members are willing to support and reinforcement. The team clarifies and summarizes the agreed upon solution. So obviously the orientation, when members initially start socializing with each other, establishing roles, figuring out who is doing what. Um, then also conflict. Um, Once you start discussing this decision positions and becoming more assertive, sometimes conflict can come about. So you gotta kind of just work that out in the beginning to figure out, who's okay with what, and is this okay with that person, to make sure everybody's on the same page. Um, Brainstorming, obviously, everybody's airing out all the options, trying to figure out, the pros and cons of all the details, like what's gonna work, is this gonna what's how do you think about how do you feel about this, list the pros, the negatives, the positives for this and that, to try to figure out what's gonna be the best solution. um Emergence, I like to say, when the jury's reached the verdict, the team finds a solution that everybody's willing to support, everybody's on board with, and they're able to move forward with the finishing product. And reinforcement, the team clarifies, like I said, everybody clarifies and summarizes the solution to the issue. So there's basically a few steps as far as allowing team evolution. Now, for resolving conflict, because conflict obviously is going to be a big thing wherever you go. There's always conflict, especially when there's groups, because even myself, I've been a victim of conflict. Even with my most recent job, when training, it was a group environment, so there's always conflict. Now, resolving conflict, the first thing is proactive behavior, which is going to deal with minor conflict before it becomes a major conflict. Obviously, proactive behavior, you're trying to take care of the problem before the problem escalates. Obviously, nobody wants the problem to escalate, so you want to kind of get that taken care of initially. So that's definitely a big thing. Communication, get those directly involved in conflict to participate in resolving it. So who's ever the conflict, the issue, wherever it is, just try to get somebody to get that resolved before, like I was saying in the first step, escalates into something bigger than that. Openness, get the feelings out. You want to get your feelings out. You want to voice how you really feel, so it doesn't become a bigger issue. That's definitely a big thing. Research, seek factual reasons for the problem before, obviously, it gets bigger. You can also, research, just figure out, why is this an issue? What can we do to solve this issue? Flexibility, don't let anybody lock you in position before considering other solutions. There's always another alternative that you can use, or you can find out that'll help and be more beneficial. Fair play, insist on a fair outcome, and don't let anyone avoid for a fair solution by hiding behind the rules. Alliance, get opponents to fight for each other instead of fighting against each other. Um, that's definitely something big. But moving on, obviously conducting and contributing to efficient meetings. You want to keep the meetings on track. You want to follow agreed upon rules, encourage participation, participate actively, use mobile devices respectively, and close effectively. Now, the questions I have is, um, have anybody else had to deal with conflict within a group setting? Has anybody had to deal with conflict, whether it could be at work or job or anything like that? What was the initial issue with the conflict? What was the outcome, and what was the solution? That's the question that I have to ask. Thank you.